Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Simming Around North America. And yes, as the title suggests, what we're going to do is we're going to use a variety of simulators and travel around North America. As simple as that, really. And today, leg number 1, we're going to be in X-Plane 11. We're in the good old trusty Cessna 172. We're going to be going from Invermere in British Columbia up through the valley to Golden in British Columbia. So with all that said, let's jump in the cockpit and get this thing started. Okay, so I've removed the yokes and it's pretty simple to start this thing up. Let's throw the master switches on. We're going to need the fuel pump and the beacon light on. We've got the fuel selector to both right there. And so we are looking good. No one around. It would help if we put our mixture a little bit rich. A little bit of throttle right there. Let's see if we can start this thing up. Oh. Okay, we did get there eventually. And we'll just pull back that throttle a little bit. Actually, we'll put it up a little bit. And there we go. So from here we can throw our taxi light on and our nav and our strobe. And we can get our avionics on now too. And there we go, looking good. We'll throw our yokes back up here. Now what we're going to do, and I'll just quickly go to the map right here. This is runway 33, which is not far away from us at all. And if we look at the details here, you can see that the wind is 270 at 5 variable, so not much wind at all. So a nice little easy flight from runway 33 up through the valley right here. I'll zoom out, and Golden is just up the valley right over here. So it's quite a nice easy little flight today. We've got beautiful flying conditions, so what we'll be doing is we'll probably be flying at approximately 6,000 feet. This is the best part of 3,000 feet above sea level at the moment. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'll go and run this thing up, put in my coordinates into my GPS right here, and we will meet you when I'm about to take off. So catch you very, very soon. Okay, we've received our clearance for takeoff. Not much traffic around whatsoever. And so let's line up on the center line. Give it plenty of juice right here. Holding the nose straight. Got a bit of torque happening right here, as you can expect in X-Plane. A little bit of a sort of a curved runway. And a little bit of back pressure here. And away we go. We are flying. We're going to look to trim out to about 70 knots there or thereabouts. It was a no flap takeoff. We don't need any flaps. Not on a day like this. So we work our way up over 3,000 feet. Like I say, a really, really nice day for flying right here. So we'll go and take a quick look outside the cockpit. There we go. Invermere disappearing in the background. Beautiful day for flying. Check this out, you little ripper. Love it. Looks like the sun's going to disappear relatively soon. We should keep ourselves as straight as possible, but we'll just look to cruise over here. That hill's a good indicator. Usually fly just to the right of that hill, or left, just depending on what's happening with the wind. So what I'll do, guys, is let's get us up to our cruise altitude, and we'll meet you there. Okay, everybody, welcome back, and we're just lining ourselves up with our track right here. Had a few issues just programming in our GPS, and so what I ended up having to do, and I completely forgot, is use my add-on right here. And this moving map is absolutely sensational. Highly recommend it, by the way. And so now that I've got that programmed, it now lines up with my actual internal GPS. Just makes life a little bit easier, and I can enjoy the scenery. It's a GTN 750, by the way, for those playing at home. And so we're just establishing ourselves at 6,000 feet, and it looks like we're just going to go just slightly to the left-hand side of this hill here. We've probably got the altitude to miss it. Once we get a little bit closer, I might just need to deviate a little bit, but let's check out some of these views as we head up the valley. The sun setting in the background right there. This is a beautiful flight. Looking absolutely fantastic. One thing I do notice with this flight though, the weather's changing a little bit here, is that do not fly this when it's cloudy, is what I would say. There's too many hills around here, and I wonder what actually happens in real life. I would imagine that pilots would probably avoid doing much flying whatsoever when you've got IFR conditions, particularly in these smaller aircraft, but we're pottering along quite nicely here. And it looks like, let's jump back in the cockpit, it looks like we're going to probably need to deviate just very, very slightly. So what I might do is, I'm just going to adjust my track right here. And let's just fly slightly to the left-hand side, and then once we're past this little hill, we'll then readjust back on our track. So we'll throw this over to heading, and we should just drift slightly to the left. We just adjust just slightly at this point, and it means by the time we get to that hill, we're going to be well wide of it. Because crashing into hills is not relevant to our interests, funnily enough. Anyway, team, as you can see, I've got the little app running up the top of the screen there. You can check out what I'm doing. Obviously, travelling from Invermere CAA 8 to CYGE Golden. We're at 6,086 feet, apparently. 110 knots across the ground. We've got 48 nautical miles to go, so you can sort of follow on where we're at just by looking at that. But yeah, looking nice. So what I'll do is let's get a little bit further down the track, and then I will join you all once we're sort of getting close to setting up for our arrival. So we'll catch you very, very soon. Okay, everybody, here we are. We are on final approach. I'm just trying to bleed off the speed a bit. Had to do a bit of adjustment to our heading just to get on the right flight path here. We're just bleeding off the speed. We're not far away. We're only a couple of nautical miles away from touchdown. Now, altitude is really good. And as you can see the runway just up ahead of us, just to the right of the river. And we can grab our first level of flaps, second right there, a bit more power, looking to trim out to about 70 knots there or thereabouts, maybe 65 even on touchdown, to be honest, but we'll keep it at 70. Last stage of flaps, got a little bit of a balloon there. We need to get our nose down, not quite lined up properly here. Need a bit more trim right there. Okay, a little bit fast. You can see Golden over there to the right hand side. This is some freeware add-on scenery, by the way. And we're just a touch high here. Now we're looking pretty good. Skirting these trees right here. Let's not knock off our landing gear on the way past. See the windsock on the right hand side there, not much wind at all to speak of. Cross the threshold, pull the power. Looking to float here. Oh, hold it, hold it, hold it. Oh, just a little bit bumpy right there, everybody. But there we go. Welcome to Golden, everybody. And I tell you what, let's get rid of that flat. That was an absolutely sensational flight. Such a nice night there to fly in British Columbia. Let's exit the runway right here. Beautiful flight. Let's get rid of the yoke and throw... Oh, our landing light wasn't on. So there you go. How do you save yourself some time? Don't use your landing light. I don't think the other pilots around the local area will be very happy at all with me right there. But anyway, let's just go and park up over here, because then I can tell you what our next leg's going to be for the Simming Around North America series. I'll just park up over here, will be nice. I love this scenery, by the way. And let's throw the parking brake on, mixture off, boom, avionics off, master off, and there we go. So let's just get outside our little... And it's quite handy that this big long train right here beside the runway is just sitting there, because in our next little adventure in the Simming Around North America series, we're going to be jumping on one of these big Canadian national freight trains. And we're going to take it for a decent sized trip right up through the Rockies there. It won't be this particular locomotive, the X-Plane locomotive, but it will be Train Simulator 2020. We'll be piling on these big carriages right here, carting some goods and whatever else they might have in there, right down this way right here, up over that bridge and somewhere way over and through the mountains there. So that's going to be our next episode, by the way. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you did enjoy this, please smash this like button down below, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, everybody, take it easy.